Hi everybody, Casey here from LearnBassToday.com. Today we are going to review some bass strings. We are looking at the Hartke HSB445 3P 4-string bass set. This is a 3-pack of strings. It cost me $25 plus tax at Sam Ash Music in Nashville, Tennessee. These strings are the light strings, gauges 45, 65, 80, and 105. But we're going to string them up, get some initial reactions on what they sound like, how they feel, and any notes I might have for you. And then I'm actually going to be hitting the road for a week, and I'm going to be playing a bunch of shows in Virginia and Maryland, and we'll get a real live feel for what they sound like, in a room, and how long they last. I'm going to be doing a lot of playing over the course of the next week. So here we go. Let's string them up. Alright, so we've got the Hartke strings on the Warwick Streamer Double Buck, and we're all tuned up, and so far just initial response. I always love the sound of new strings compared to the strings I had on here. I want to say those were probably maybe a month old, and I've played probably 20 gigs and numerous practice hours on those strings, so they're starting to sound dead. So the difference between what I had there and now is considerable, but I do like it. They have a pretty good punch to them. And they pretty much sound even across the board here. They are nickel wound strings, so I'm noticing that they don't have as much grab as a stainless steel set of strings, which I guess is more of a preference thing than anything. I go back and forth between nickel and stainless. The last ones I had were stainless, and these ones, my fingers tend to slide a little bit more, which is fine. One thing I'm noticing is there's not as much fret noise. It's there, but it's not as prevalent as on some strings. That's not a bad thing. I have my bass set up, was flat. Now I'm putting it more where it would be if I were playing something for real. Harmonics sound pretty good. Overall, I'm going to have to give them probably a 5 out of 5 on initial reaction. Like I said, I'm going to be leaving. I'm actually shooting a TV show tomorrow, and I'm going to be on set for, all day long. So I'm going to have playing there, and then a handful of shows over the next week on the road. And I do have an extra set of these strings in the event that anything bad happens. I'm hoping not, but I'll be back in a week with, after a week of playing on them, what I think of them. If they stand up to, being on the road and being played almost every night. And, we'll just go from there. Alright, we're back. It's been about 8 or 9 days since I've had these strings on my bass. These are the Hartke strings that we were talking about earlier. And I've probably put in about 30 hours of playing on these strings. A couple of gigs, probably 7 gigs, recording on set for a TV show, and a few rehearsals, and just practicing here at home. I never wipe them down. I generally don't after a gig anyway. It's just, when packing up, it's one of the last things I'm thinking about, even though I should. And after playing on them now for, we'll say 9 days, it's been pretty good. I'm actually surprised. They've kept pretty good tone. They're not as bright as they were. Obviously, strings are going to lose their life, over time, but they sound pretty darn good considering I've put in a lot of time playing on them. Overall, for the price of the strings, all things considered, 3 packs for $25, so way less than $10 a set. I'm giving them a 5 out of 5, and I'm not being paid by anybody to do this. This is just my own, doing this on my own accord. So, Hartke, if you're out there and you want to send me more strings, that's great. I'd love it, but I will continue to buy these and use them for the time being. Times are tough, and can't go wrong with $25 for 3 sets of strings. This is the only bass I ended up putting them on. I only played this bass the whole time I was gone, mostly for the sake of this review. And yeah, if you're curious about buying the Hartke strings, I would say go for it, give them a shot. They're similar, I would say, to maybe Slinkies, the Ernie Ball strings, in feel and tone, but overall, a good product for the price. Once again, this is Casey, learnbasstoday.com, and happy playing.